Hello guys, Apple Times here, welcome to a new video, and today we're going to talk about the rumors that we have already pretty much confirmed features by now of iOS and iPadOS 14. So, the WWDC, the Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference that takes place every year in usually beginning of June, but this year because of everything that's going on in the world, it was delayed to June 22nd. It's going to take place starting June 22nd. In this keynote, we usually see Apple's latest operating systems, and this year is no exception, as we expect to see iOS 14, iPadOS 14, watchOS 7, macOS 10.16, if I'm not mistaken, tvOS 14, and audioOS 14. Wow, Apple does have a lot of operating systems to work on. But anyway, we do have a lot of information about what we can expect in iOS 14, so in this video we're going to see it, so let's go. So the first one, and probably one of the most anticipated ones that users have been wanted for years now, next to dark mode, which we already got in iOS 13, so now is a redesigned, or tweaked rather, home screen. So don't go crazy, it's not gonna be nothing wild, you probably still won't be able to place icons wherever you want, you will have to go in order. However, we will probably see a list view similar to the one in watchOS, but with more organizing options, and also we might be able to add widgets to the home screen. There will also be a lot of changes, and actually very significant ones, to wallpapers. So first of all, the wallpapers will be organized in collections, like Earth and Moon, and Flowers, and Dynamic, and other collections, unlike now that they're just like out there. But also, developers will be able to add their own collections using the Wallpaper API, and they will be made available in the Settings app. And Apple is also adding wallpapers to CarPlay. Right now, CarPlay does not allow adding wallpapers, it's just black at the background. But apparently they will be able to add them now, and Apple has been testing this with the stock wallpapers of iOS 13, and as you can see in this screenshot, and they are also planning on making light and dark mode. So that would be very handful if you're in the car at night, you don't want to be brightened up by the wallpaper, so a dark mode would be nice. Next feature is improved accessibility, so we know that Apple does take accessibility very seriously, and actually these improvements I think are very good. So one of them would actually be very helpful for hearing impaired people, because it would just recognize loud sounds such as alarms or fire alarms or doorbells or stuff, do some haptics in your iPhone that you would be able to feel, and therefore hear the doorbell or whatever it is. So actually that would be very good, even for me, because I'm sometimes in my bedroom and it's like in the opposite side of the house to the door, so I can't hear the bell sometimes, but that would be very helpful. Another feature that can be found of the code is audio accommodations, and this would allow users to fine-tune the audio from their AirPods or EarPods even, for people with hearing losses. Next is more immersive augmented reality, and as usual in every iOS version we see some new features that hint at new products, and in this case I have no doubts that this is for Apple Glass. I already made a video about everything we know about the Apple Glass, which you can check here. But yeah, as I talked in that video, we're gonna have a new AR app that will be called Gobi, and it will be able to read rich QR codes and show you a preview of products. So Apple apparently has been testing this with Starbucks and in their Apple stores. So people would be able to point their camera at something and see more rich information about it. Developers can also take advantage of this API and do these kind of things for things around the environment. So I'm thinking, for example, in museums, that you can go with your iPhone and you don't need an audio guide or anything, which is actually very good, because now for the pandemic thing, sharing audio guides with as many people that can go in a museum in one day is probably not the ideal, so each one would just go with their iPhone, just point at wherever you are and you can see or even hear information about that. However, it probably will not only be limited to museums, but products and many other things. But yeah, this is clearly in preparation for the Apple Glass. One of the main points of the Apple Glass, of course, will be augmented reality, so Apple does want to sell you this before releasing the Apple Glass, make you see how amazing this is and pointing at your iPhone, and then tell you that, oh, what if you didn't have to get your iPhone for this? You can just look and you will have it in the glasses. But yeah, the next is some HomeKit improvements. HomeKit secure video that was released last year will be getting face recognition, so users can get personalized wallpapers depending on the face that cameras recognize. And also we can expect some night shift for lights, which will turn the light temperature, change it depending on the time of the day, kind of like iPhone and iPad and Mac screens have now, but just for lights. Also, a very annoying problem that I find is that I have a motion sensor that I trigger sometimes when I'm sleeping and it wakes me up, so I really hope that Apple does something about it. Next, and probably one of the most exciting for me, especially if I can take advantage of it, is Carkey. So we already talked about this in the channel here. And this is basically being able to unlock your car with your iPhone. So if your car supports NFC, it's very likely that it will support this, and basically users will be able to lock their cars in the wallet app and generate a digital key that you can use just putting your iPhone close by or with the fingerprint or Face ID, of course. So the code was found first in iOS 13.4 by 9to5 Mac. However, rumors suggest that Apple has already been working on it with BMW. However, the Car Connectivity Consortium, that's a consortium that has been planning all this and that is made by many car manufacturers and technology manufacturers, including Apple, of course. So in this consortium there are a lot of car brands, including Volkswagen Group, PSA Group, Mercedes-Benz, and many more. So in the keynote we will probably get more info about whose Apple partners are, but I'm really hoping that my car supports that. Because I can unlock it with the key, I don't even need to take the key out of my pocket, so it would be very good to just leave the key at home and use my iPhone for that. Next are some Apple Maps enhancements, and we did already see some big Apple Map updates this week, including Street View, or actually look around, for more cities in the US and transit information for more cities around the world. However, iOS 14 would bring better integrations with Apple stores, checking repair availability and being able to make appointments in the Genius Bar just from the Maps app. Maps will also highlight places with seating for couples, or children discounts, or IMAX theaters, or some more options. So yeah, I know it's quite a few things and there's still quite a few to go. Next is the iCloud Keychain improvements, as Apple wants to make this feature, which is actually pretty good, I really like it, but it wants to make it even better for customers that don't want to pay a subscription for a password management app. So these new features would include alerts when users choose a password that they already have in another site for further security, and also a way to store passwords with two-factor authentication, so you don't have to log in via SMS or email or whatever. And this is probably one of the biggest features, Clips API. No, it doesn't have anything to do with Clips, this weird video app that Apple released a few years ago, but rather it would be a way of using apps or parts of an app without downloading them. So it will be related to the QR codes that we talked before, and this is not confirmed, but my guess is that probably you would be able to go to Starbucks. If you see a muffin, you can scan the QR code, and then this will prompt you automatically the app to order that muffin in the app, even if you don't have the app installed. And apparently this feature is currently being tested by Apple with YouTube, Sony, DoorDash, OpenTable, and Yelp. Next is built-in translation for Safari, where you will be able to translate websites directly, just kind of like Google Chrome does, however without relying on any third-party service. All of these translations will run locally using the neural engine, which means that you don't need a connection to do this. It is also rumored that these translations will come to more parts of iOS, so for example the app stores you will be able to see translated the app descriptions or reviews if they have been written in a different language. And also I'm expecting that in the future this will come to Siri, which already has built-in translation. However, if it uses the secure enclave, it could mean that you could translate things even when you're offline, which is especially useful if you're traveling to a different country. Next are some Apple Pencil and keyboard shortcuts. For the Apple Pencil, it would be able to be used in websites, have full integration with the Apple Pencil, and these keyboard shortcuts include shortcuts to change the brightness both of the iPad screen and the backlit keyboard for the Magic Keyboard. Next, the Find My app that got a complete overhaul last year is apparently going to have a very big update this year as well, probably in preparation for the AirTags. So they will be adding the option to get alerts if someone does not arrive at a place at a specific time, or if someone leaves a place before. So this will be very useful with children. However, I'm also guessing that, for example, if you're meeting a friend and he leaves his house before planned, actually, you will be able to know and probably not be late. Or be late if you are just always late like I am. Users will be also able to locate friends and lost items using AR in close locations for more accuracy. And lastly is always recovery. So recovery is actually something that you have to do for when an iPhone stops working, for example. And it's actually a very confusing process, as you have to turn off the phone and put it in a special mode and then connect it to iTunes, or well, no longer iTunes, but to a computer, and just do the thing there. However, iOS 14 could include an option to do it over internet, an option that has been available for a few years now in macOS, but you could do that over the air, so you wouldn't have to connect the iPhone to a computer. Lastly, we're gonna briefly talk about device compatibility, and this is very simple, as every single device that can now run iOS 13 will be able to run iOS 14. So this includes the iPhone 6s and app, and the 5th generation iPad and app. Also, just a small heads up, a profile is reported. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm not sure about how true this is, but apparently Apple leaked the profile for installing the iOS 14 beta in the developer website for a few minutes, and some users were able to get it. This has of course now been removed from Apple's website, and Apple itself has banned the update with that profile, so basically users who have it cannot do anything with it. But yeah, that was a very long video to make. So what's your favorite feature about all of this that I mentioned? Or were you expecting some other features and you didn't see them here, but you still have the faith that you will see them in WWDC? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, WWDC is just 1 week away. I love this time of the year. And we will be doing some very intensive coverage in the channel about iOS 14 and all the news that come. And also we are expecting some really exciting hardware updates. You can see them here in this video. And I will be getting some of that hardware, so if you want to see the coverage like unboxings, reviews, comparisons and many more things about that hardware, you should probably subscribe. So yeah, this is a very exciting month actually to be an Apple fan. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.